in 2017. No, it wouldn't be then. Then it conjuncted his Mercury. It will conjunct his Mercury in 2022. But this is going from the 5th to the 6th house, from play, from performance to work, and everything. So in this time period, he's also learning astrology and adding astrology into his 6th house skills, from the 5th house performance to skills. So astrology and music are really go hand in hand. So I'm sure you'll continue 5th house Sun, continue with the music, but add the astrology and the writing along with this. So you can see it going up and it builds up. I'm not going to go through them all, but it's going to, it'll square the Neptune in 2028, 2035. No, it opposes Saturn 2028, squares Neptune 2035, goes over its descendant in 2041. So in 2041, he's 62. But that's when his Venus goes into his 7th house of his emotions go in the 7th house of Pisces, and it implies a whole different attitude to relationships. At that time, the Venus in Pisces brings in the Jupiter, the understanding, the learning element, to the 6th house, the healing, the teacher, the healing inside of this, and possibly the traveling. So it's his Venus, his choices are going that way. His Sun is moving up, moves up, that follows the same thing, it's going to go direct. So his Venus and Sun are going to move both up similarly, one ahead of the other, the Sun first and the Venus following up. But those are the big turning points around this. And you can watch each one. I'm not going to, I want to cut out of this. Okay, this is this one, okay. Now the next one we go to. 9, okay. So we're going along, I know we're late, it's going to be, this is another long one. Mercury, Venus, Sun, progressions are like this, you know, and the moon will be another long one when we do it. Okay, so this one is almost starts with Venus in Pisces. Ah, the other side of the universe. Venus in Pisces, that in Virgo, it's down in the 6th house. It's going to move down into Aries, and at some point it's going to go retrograde and back into Aries. So our Venus is only going to be in Pisces and mostly in Aries. Okay, and it's down low in the chart, going to the 2nd house into the 3rd house. She's at Aquarius, Capricorn rising, Moon in Aries. Some more subjective concerns below the horizon than above. Neptune's up in the 10th house, squaring the Mercury, but the Venus in Pisces, it's going to move along and progress. So that's what we're going to be looking at, this progressions. It doesn't quite, we notice that it's not going to quite build down to the IC. It's just going to mostly go into the 3rd house of knowing what one wants or what one likes or liking to study or learn or be appreciated for one's ideas. So let's just pull this out. And yeah, there we go. The transits, the progressions going to say. Look, everything with astrology, there's calculations, there's detail. With progressions, there's a lot of detail. And organizing it well is the secret. You take the time to organizing at the beginning. Every time you come back, it's organized, it's there. You don't have to read all this work we did to get these things together, to have these presentations. They're there. You can come back at them anytime and look at them, and you're going to have a living relationship with them for years. So it's useful to have this. You're not going to be watching every little thing every minute. You're going to be selecting, well, look where this is, and then it'll pull you in and you'll study, you go deeply into that for a while, then you back out and go to other things. It's how we learn. But there's certainly, my whole approach with transits and with progressions, one planet at a time, follow it, see what it's doing, see it, like it allows you to see that one planet and see it in continuity. So you're not just looking at one point, oh, it's just there, it's making this aspect, it's just that, it's too extreme. Here it is, a natural development progression. But this one is the development of the soul, of the inner things, of the inner attitudes. So we're going to see she's born in 61, but in 72, at age 11, her Venus went from Leo into Aries. Well, so she might have been romantic or fine idealistic during the first 11 years, but by the time she's turning 11, it goes into Aries. She becomes much more impulsive and much more wanting to do more impulsive things or competitive things. It becomes less manageable. Then in 74, first, let me just go along here. Yeah, so here we are. In 72, it went into Aries. In 74, it squared Mars. So by 74, it goes into Aries squaring Mars. You know what she wants. She's going to be rowdy, and there's going to be fights or struggles around what she wants. And she's growing up. This is just as she's becoming a young woman. She's going through puberty, and there's stormy scenarios going on. Maybe that's boyfriends and parents arguing, or just not easy. So it's a bit of a storm for her. Then, I mean, Venus in Aries is going to be a little feisty anyways, and prone to push or fight for what it wants. So that was a square to Mars. That would have been magnified as that probably was a boyfriend or somebody that she liked. There was fights around it or struggles around it, around how much freedom she could have. Then in 77, Venus went and conjunct the moon. So 77, 61, she's still only 16, and it conjuncts the moon in Aries in the second house. So this is still about resources, where I'm living, what I'm doing, and impatience or restlessness around this. Like, it's the Venus and the moon to the mother. How am I living? What am I doing? What's secure? What do I need? And what do I want? The needs and the wants come out strong. Okay, so she might have been very aggressive, very pushy, and how long do I want to stay at home? Or how long, like, almost a feeling it's time, almost time to go, or I want to get my own place. It's only 16. So then from there, that was a big turning point though in her values. Then it went forward, and she's doing her own thing, right till it came up. First aspect came up as in 94. So in 94, it squared Jupiter. So the Venus squaring Jupiter is going to exaggerate it. The Venus is going to be trying to understand between understandings and misunderstandings, what's right, what's wrong around the Venus, but a tendency to excessively indulge at the same time, to excessively enjoy. So there's certainly perhaps a bit more rowdy being in Aries. This is the detriment of Venus. It's not the easiest place for me. It's always going to be, let's go for this, let's go for this, I want to go for this. So there's a need to be feisty, be dancing, doing things, being active. And there it would have been perhaps exaggerated a bit, or a certain understanding of what I wanted to do. Then it went forward. In 1999, it squared Saturn. So in 1999, that may have been between having kids and then being a little depressed about what am I going to do, what do I want, what's happening. So there's a more of a hitting Saturn. There's the somber assessment, feeling discontent or dissatisfied or not happy. Okay, the new understanding came in, not on. In 94, 5 years later, I'm not exactly happy the way I'm living. Then it goes up, and in 2019, this year, studying astrology, the Venus is retro. It's reached its far. It's gone far. It goes retrograde. It's gone far forward as it can. It gets to the last degree of Aries. Where is it here? It's the 29 over here. Yeah, it goes retrograde. Where are we here? Yeah, at 2906 of Aries. So in the last degree of Aries, it stops, slows down in retrograde, but it doesn't quite go into Taurus, where Venus would be really comfortable and get what it wants. It backs up. There's some stuff to go back and take care of. So it's backing up in the rest of her life. Reassessing the end of that. It comes back in 2038. It will square to Saturn again. Again, it can be worries about money. It can be tightness. It can be feeling old, but it's still going to be in Aries. It's still going to be trying to push things and make things happen. Wants it to be active, and then it's going to hit the Jupiter again in 2043. And that's the tendency where there's a tendency to want to expand, try things, and use money, use one's resources to not be so limited, maybe travel a lot more. So that's in the 80s. Then she might get along a bit further, but her whole life, Venus is in the third house. Since 1972, Venus has been in Aries, and since about 1977, 78, it's been in the third house, where it will be most of about studying, learning, acting on her knowledge, doing what she wants, and her wants and desires are in there. It's tied in with brothers and sisters, with third house concerns, expressing what she wants, and being probably a little bit pushy or feisty in doing that with the Aries rulership. Okay. I mean, they're very simple, generalized things, but they're very personal, and you see these, and it connects and confirms the different layers to you. It brings them alive, and you can see them. It starts to put it out of perspective to your life. and it settles down. Okay, that's where I'm going. That's who it is. Okay. Here we have October 22nd, 61. Sun in Libra in the first house, Libra rising, Venus in Libra in the 12th house. And this Venus too, again, no retrogrades, it just goes straight forward across a lifetime, right? From Libra over to Aquarius. So it's going to go over the first house, it's going to go down over the Sun and Mercury, it's going to go down and conjunct the Neptune and the Mars, going to make some other squares and aspects, going to hit the IC. It hit the IC in 2017. So when we go through this, we'll have to look at this a little more. We see it a little more closely here. But to make the time to draw, just put it in and draw it in around the chart. But if you're doing the same chart, it gets confused if you have the dates for different planets. So you take a copy of the chart for each planet, and you have the progressions on it, so you have it there to refer to. And when you come back next time, you don't have to do the calculation. Oh, Venus is here. Oh, look where it is. Oh, it's coming up to this. Oh, it's just coming past this. Oh, I'm working through this. Oh, what's going on? You can check the degrees it's in. You can check the hexagrams. There's so many ways you can tap into this at any time when you want to. You're not going to be looking at just this. There's so many things in astrology, but at times this is valuable, and it's a very good affirmation. So when we see this Venus in the 12th house, you know what? Very early it's going to go into the first house, but at first, so in 2 years, it went from October to June, but just under 2 years, it went into his ascendant. So at first, there were some difficulties around his emotions about being wanted, about security. Something was in a shadow there, but then it came out of that. I'm just going to back up for a second here. Venus is opposed to Moon. Yeah, so there was some challenge with mom or something like around where they were living or what, but it changed in 2063. Went into the first house, so he became a bit more charming and outward going during this time. So everything's at a very young age here, but then it goes along, and I don't have marked it first. It conjuncts into Saturn in 76. I didn't mark that in here, but it conjuncts, it squared Saturn in 76. So by 76, he's 15, not feeling exactly happy, feeling serious, bored, depressed, teenage. Okay, what I want, but that's his emotions. He's not feeling satisfied or appreciated, not liking where he is. Then by September 1980, it conjuncts his Sun and his Mercury. Well, here the Venus gets empowered. It makes his Sun and his Mercury thinking. He makes him want to use his mind and want to do things. It's like he starts feeling he's somebody. He starts being appreciated. It starts coming in like inwardly. This is a strong influence, whether that came from a person or a situation, but that was 1980. So in 1980, he's 19. So maybe finishing school, maybe going out to work. Don't know. So then shortly after that, in 81, it moves. Then from there, his Venus went into Scorpio. Now in Libra, it's in its best place. In Scorpio, it's detriment, so there's a tendency to be more judgmental and more intense about what things going on. But it's there a long time. It's going to be in Scorpio from 81 until 2005. So he has a Venus in Libra in the 12th house, but when it's in Scorpio, there's a judgmental side to this Venus. I've lived with it. My Venus went back and forth in there, but here it went in, and then it conjuncted us in 1990. The Venus conjuncted Neptune. This is a very romantic, dreamy time. It's a conjunction. He's dreaming a vision about what he wants. So in one way, it's very romantic. Maybe he met his wife. Maybe he met but that's 1990, and he's 29. Saturn returned, and he has some emotional dreams going on. So normally his Venus is in the background, not showing, and here it starts coming out in a dreamier way. Then by 93, Venus is conjunct his Mars. He's ready to act on things, to do things. His Venus gets more from the dream to the action. There's a bit more action on it, or making things happen. So if Venus is going on through the third house, partly about money, partly about what to do, where to be, what do I want? What don't I want? So if it's what I don't want, it's how do I escape and get away from it? If it's what I want, oh, there's a dream, let's go for it. Okay, then Venus goes in 2005. I'll just get the sheet here.